The original Lotus Esprit had a lot going for it. The engine was not especially powerful, but because the body was light, the car was fast. 0 to 60 took just 6.8 seconds. It was a lovely looking car too, pretty without being prissy, and apparently it handled.
The trouble is that long before it ever reached a corner, it disintegrated. This is very probably the worst made car of all time. Anyone who's ever owned one will tell you that Lotus stands for lots of trouble, usually serious.
It should really have been shot at birth, yet here we are 20 years on and the Esprit is still in production. These days though it's called the S4 and it ain't bad at all.
First things first, Lotus say they've made massive improvements on quality and that the Esprit you buy today is way different to the Esprit you could buy a few years ago. Certainly I've done 500 or so miles in this and nothing's dropped off. They've also made other improvements. They've ripped out the stupid wood and fitted this carbon fibre instead. That's nice. They've moved the dials so that I can see them all, and they've fitted a sensible amount of equipment. It's not what you call unashamed luxury, but then again, this is a car designed for the man or woman who wants a double helping of thrills and easy on the frills.
It's also been designed for someone whose bones are made of titanium. Hit a hedgehog in this and it dies, but so do you. It has no suspension travel at all.
And a bumpy ride is only part of the equation. In order to get your right foot on the accelerator, you need to break your leg in 8 places. And then there's the controls, which are ferociously recalcitrant. All right, the steering is power-assisted, which is a good thing, but the gearbox has more notches than Warren Beatty's bedhead, and the clutch is heavier than a photocopier. Then again, it's worth mastering these things, because when you get it right, when you've learned how to drive this car, it absolutely flies.
It handles like a terrier, it does 0 to 60 in 4.6 seconds, and it'll crack 160 flat out. But these are just figures. To demonstrate what they actually mean, we have stacked it against the fastest vehicle in the world, the Vauxhall Astromax van.
You think I'm joking, don't you? Well, all van drivers are maniacs, but those who have Astromaxes are a special breed. Have you ever seen one of these doing less than 100 miles an hour? Have you ever seen one leave a set of traffic lights without burning rubber? If you put a 17-year-old plumber in an Astromax van, even if you have a Lamborghini Diablo, he will be behind you, flashing his lights, trying to get past. This, then, is a class war. The working man's wheels versus a piece of automotive aristocracy. OK, we've just gone past 130 miles an hour, and inevitably, inexorably, the Astrovan wants to go by. And there he goes.
But the mere fact that the Lotus stayed in front till we hit 140 speaks volumes.
And the reason it doesn't disgrace itself is under here. Now, that looks like the sort of engine I've got in my Hoover. It is indeed a mere 2.2-litre 4-cylinder jobby, the sort of thing you'll find in a family saloon. But It has a very sophisticated turbocharger and it develops 264 brake horsepower. The other thing, of course, with it being so small, you get a decent-sized boot. You know, I'm getting to like this car.
Quite apart from the power and the handling and that pretty body, I like the fact it only costs £47,000. I like the fact that James Bond, Sharon Stone and Julia Roberts have all used one. It's a sort of automotive Hollywood starlet.
And then there's the fact it's a Lotus, and that means it has some cred. Now, I know they have nothing whatsoever to do with the Grand Prix team anymore and that they've just been bought by Bugatti. But when you get home at night and say, shall we go out in the Lotus tonight? It has a certain ring to it. You know, I really do like this car.
Britain's specialist motor cars are normally heavy, traditional and immensely powerful. But the nimble, lightweight and mid-engined Lotus shows that when we want, we can play ball with the Italians.